Quietly, Cardinals outfielder Tommy Pham has had an excellent season. That continued on Thursday afternoon against the Reds as he doubled, hit a two-run home run, and stole 2 bases in a 52 win. The home run marked number 20 on the year for Pham, and the stolen bases were his 20th and 21st. He is one of 5 players in baseball with at least 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases, rivaling Jose Altuve, Elvis Andrus, Mookie Betts, and Mike Trout. After Thursday's action, Pham is batting .307, .410, .521 with 65 RBI and 85 runs scored, along with his 20 dingers and 21 swiped bags. According to Fangraphs, he also bumped his season total up to 5 wins above replacement, becoming one of 16 players in baseball with at least that much WAR. Prior to 2017, Pham had been a complimentary player, not a lineup regular. The Cardinals slotted him in the outfield for good in early May, and Pham never looked back. He's been one of baseball's most underappreciated players, helping keep the Cardinals' postseason hopes alive. They are 2.5 games behind the Cubs in the NL Central and 3 games back of the Rockies for the second NL wildcard slot. Other players near a 2020 season include Whit Merrifield 17 HR, 29 SB, Will Myers 27 HR, 19 SB, Brett Gardner 20 HR, 19 SB, Keon Broxton 20 HR, 19 SB, Andrew Benintendi 19 HR, 18 SB, Paul Goldschmidt 34 HR, 17 SB, Chris Taylor 19 HR, 16 SB, Alex Bregman 16 HR, 16 SB, Brian Dozier 30 HR, 15 SB, and Jose Ramirez 26 HR, 15 SB. If they all reach the 2020 mark, that would make 15 across baseball this season, which would tie 2001 for the second most 2020 players in a single season, according to Baseball Reference. 1999 saw 19 2020 players. Follow at Bear Bill. Here are the scores. Here are the highlights. Indians 3, Royals 2. Amazingly, the Indians' never-ending winning streak had not featured a walk-off win. They changed that last night by rallying from a 21 deficit in the bottom of the 9th and then winning via Jay Bruce's RBI that drove in Jose Ramirez. Ramirez, by the way, was only able to score because he hustled his butt off to turn his single into a double. Every little thing counts when you're winning 22 games in a row, of course. Not that anyone is alive who would know that before now. White Sox 17, Tigers 7. Avisail Garcia had a 5-hit, 7B day. He's the 4th player this season to have 5 hits and 7 RBI in a single game. He did his damage via a 2-run single, 2 RBI singles, and a 3-run home run. Garcia is batting .333, .380, .509 with 17 home runs, 77 RBI, and 67 runs scored across 503 plate appearances this season. Back when he was with the Tigers, they used to call him Little Miguel, due to his resemblance to Cabrera. He's finally grown into that moniker. And yesterday he showed the Tigers what they're missing. Yankees 13, Orioles 5. The Baltimore Orioles were owned by Peter Angelos until April of this year. Since then, they have been owned by Aaron Judge. Jude hit 2 more homers against the Os last night, both 3-run shots, bringing his season total against the Orioles to 11. He's batting .472, .611, 1.170 versus Baltimore in 2017, which is practically obscene. Overall, his homers were numbers 42 and 43 on the season, bringing him to within 6 of Mark McGwire's rookie record. Phillies 10, Marlins 0 after Wednesday's game, which the Marlins lost 81. Don Mattingly said, "My whole career, playing, coaching, that was the worst feeling I've ever had after a game." Then he walked into the ballpark last night and saw his men get slaughtered 100. As was the case Wednesday, Rhys Hoskins homered, Freddie Galvis and Jorge Alfaro also went deep as the Phillies scored 2 in the first and 7 in the second to give Mattingly ample time to stew. Or, based on his comments after this one, maybe he used the time to ascend to some higher plane where such things don't matter. I didn't have any problem with tonight except for the first 2 innings, Mattingly said. The guys kept fighting all night. The Marlins lost their 5th in a row and 15th in the last 17 games. Nationals 5, Braves 2. Rookie Victor Robles tripled and scored in the 4th. Most players would have had a double on the ball he hit there. His speed may have also been a contributing factor to a throwing error that allowed him to take second and another runner to take third later in the game. Both of them would then score. Quite the spark plug the Nats have in Robles. Red Sox 6, Athletics 2. Andrew Benintendi went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 3 driven in. Drew Pomeranz won his 16th game with only run ball over 6 innings. It was close the entire time Pomeranz was in the game, though. Indeed, he finished his outing by striking out Matt Olson, who had taken him to a full count with 2 men on an A11 game. Boston scored 2 while Pomeranz was still pitcher of record in the bottom half of the 6th to give him the win and then added more late. Cardinals 5, Reds 2. Luke Weaver threw 6 innings of 2 hit, only run ball and Tommy Pham drove in 2 and stole 2 to join the 2020 club. Not bad for a couple of guys who began the year in Memphis. The Cardinals have won 5 of the last 6 and 9 of 12. Diamondbacks 7, Rockies 0. Zach Godley tossed 8 shutout innings, scattering 5 hits and A.J. Pollock capped a 5-run first inning for the D-backs with a bases-loaded, bases-clearing double. Head add another RBI later to give him 4 on the day. Also both teams were wearing vests, that's just EWW. Mariners 10, Rangers 4. Nelson Cruz went 4 for 4 with a home run and Kyle Seager hit a 2-run homer. Felix Hernandez made his first start since the end of July and, though he was limited to 54 pitches, having him back on the mound was a boost to the Mets, who have won 3 straight. Cubs 14, Mets 6. Anthony Rizzo homered and had 3 hits, Chris Bryant drove in a couple and Jason Hayward homered and drove in 4. Cubs sweep the Mets, outscoring them 3,914 in their 3-game series. The Cubs extended their NL Central lead to 3 games over Milwaukee and St. Louis. The Cardinals come to Chicago for a big 3-game series this weekend. Twins 3, Blue Jays 2. Byron Buxton hit a 10th-inning homer to give the Twins their 2nd straight walk-off win. Buxton has hit 4 homers in 4 games against Toronto this season. If Aaron Judge owns the Orioles, HES at least put a down payment on the Blue Jays. Astros 5, Angels 2. Yuli Gurriel had 3 hits and drove in a run. Marwin Gonzalez added a 2-run double and Brad Peacock was solid as the Astros reduced their magic number to 3. The Angels, meanwhile, have fallen 3 back of the Twins for the 2nd wild card. Follow at Craig Calcaterra. Aaron Judge made some more headway towards Mark McGwire's single-season rookie record for home runs, blasting home runs number 42 and 43 on Thursday evening against the Orioles. Judge's first blast came in the 4th inning with 2 runners on base against Mike Wright on a 97 mph fastball. That pushed the Yankees' lead to 91, furthering a lead they would never relinquish. StatCast measured the homer at 448 feet. The second one pushed the score to 122 in the 6th inning, another 3-run bomb, this time off of Richard Rodriguez. Judge will need 6 more homers to tie McGwire's record at 49. The Yankees have 16 games left. It seems doable. Follow at Bear Bill.